10 trillion assets under management. Vanguard is moving into the crypto space. What is this going to mean for the crypto that we currently hold? We also have an update from Cas Laurens about the UK and the US, of course, with Ripple in that secret meeting at Downing Street. We're going to go ahead and talk about that. Also have a ton of other Ripple and XRP news, guys. We're also getting an update on where the Clarity Act is regulation here in the United States and moving forward. So let's get into all this news. Let's go. All right, so Eleanor Terrett, the great Eleanor Terrett. Vanguard eyes crypto ETF access for brokerage clients. The world's second largest asset manager, Vanguard, is preparing to allow access to crypto ETFs on its brokerage platform, according to a source familiar with the matter. The world's second largest. The mutual fund behemoth with $10 trillion assets under management has until now remained on the sidelines when it comes to digital assets, opting for more of a conservative approach than rivals Fidelity and Investments at Charles Schwab. According to a source familiar with the company plans who spoke on a condition of anonymity, Vanguard has been laying the groundwork for holding external discussions in response to strong client demand for digital assets and a shifting regulatory environment. The source said that it currently has no plans for Vanguard to launch its own products as BlackRock has done. Instead, the firm is considering letting brokerage customers access third-party crypto ETFs though it remains unclear when the decision will be made or finalized. They are being very methodical in their approach. Understanding the dynamics has been changing since 2024, the source said. A press rep for Vanguard did not respond to a request for comment. So Vanguard understands that their clients are itching for this, and they have $10 trillion under management. That is a lot of clients. That is a lot of money. And if you're not offering those clients access to the products they want, they are going to take that money and they're going to go to BlackRock. They're going to go to Morgan Stanley or Fidelity. They are going to leave because you are not giving them what they want. So this is forcing all of these institutions to start offering crypto, because if they don't, their competitors will, and they soon won't be a financial institution. You can block out the technology for only so long. And think about how much damage that actually does to your own bank. Just think it's interesting. And this person's pointing out this crypto balahoo is pointing out Vanguard. Remember this? I've shown this. This is years ago, man. This is years ago. Vanguard in the middle. You got all these different partners here. They're all Ripple partners that are connected to Vanguard. I thought this was great. You got Temenos, PNC, HSBC, CME Group, right? Fastest growing derivatives, XRP. You got Accenture here. You got American Express here. You got Mizuho Bank, MUFG, SBI Holdings, SSB. I mean, come on, baby. It's all connected, right? We're all together in this little boat, man. Okay, let's go with the Casey Craddock post first, then we'll get to my man, Kevin Cage there. Casey Craddock. Earlier this week, I posted about Downing Street Roundtable during President Trump's state visit to the UK, and I attended alongside representatives from the UK and US governments and financial and crypto industries. This meeting was a precursor to the announcement of the UK-US Transatlantic Task Force for Markets of the Future, an important innovative which will build on the deep and enduring partnership between the UK and the US financial services. The new task force will need a closer cooperation between the US and the UK on digital assets, creating an opportunity to align on stablecoins, tokenizations, and cross-border market access, as well as setting the template for international cooperation in our industry. And as a US headquartered company with major presence in the UK, Ripple is well placed to leverage its strong and transatlantic footprint to further drive UK and US tech innovation. And we're looking forward to contributing to the work of this task force. BIS Task Force, Faster Payments Task Force, UK-US Transatlantic Task Force. Which task force is Ripple not on? Anybody? Anybody? I'm waiting. Tell me in the comments if you know. Man, this feels good. I love going through this news. How could you not go through this news and not have a big smile on your face? I'm all smiles over here. I'm tired still from the jet lag, but I'm all smiles. Kevin Cage also said blockchain technology, he posted this, blockchain technology is inherently global by its nature and transcends borders. This is a huge opportunity for closer cooperation between the US and the UK on digital assets. The new Transatlantic Task Force represents the first such agreement in our industry globally. Wow. That is magic to my ears. And you had Coinbase there, but was anybody else there besides the largest financial institutions on the planet? Anybody else? All right, let's switch gears. Barclays report confirms November 2025 ISO 20022 deadline is key to crypto integration and global payments. SWIFT is expecting 91% of financial institutions to be ready by November. ISO 20022 richer data model will be critical of conversation between digital asset and fiat assets. In November 2025, ISO 20022 deadline. Therefore, it is not the end of the transformation of payments industry, but just the beginning. So interesting to see and hear that. Barclays XRP. Barclays has been working. This is definitely an older document, Ripple and XRP system resilience here. And of course, I just did a video on what is happening in the UK with digital IDs and how Ripple might be playing a part. If you haven't seen that video, I know it's a little something different than I normally do, but I think it's worth watching if you have the time. It talks about all global ID frameworks will soon converge on one reality. They will be decentralized. They will be anchored to the XRP Ledger, but quietly under NDAs as the only neutral infrastructure regulators can trust. And of course, Eleanor Turret has another update here. Looks like the House formally sent the Clarity Act to the Senate last Thursday, where it was referred to the banking GOP, comes as the House voted to retroactively combine GOP majority whip's anti-CBDC bill and the Clarity Act last week. So it looks like they're going to combine the Clarity Act with the anti-CBDC bill. What do I think about this? Listen, the issue you have here is you're putting yourself in a box. With a no anti-CBDC bill, yes, you might not want the retail version of a CBDC because people don't trust it, whatever. But when you're boxing yourself out to a wholesale CBDC, that might not make too much sense, right? That is central bank to bank. No, I don't understand that, because usually countries, especially big economies, will do the central bank to bank. They will do the institutional level CBDC rather than the retail one, and we're closing that off. So we'll have to see how that unfolds. Ripple Payments Direct 2.0 Master US USD Payments Guide to Creating Identity Tokens for ACH Real-Time Payments and Wires in Ripple Payments Directly and 2.0 API. It looks like they've been updating their API. Just to give you some additional context here, identity type, whether the identity is from the originator, sender, or the beneficiary, the recipient, whether the party is an individual business, and then the ACH real-time payments or wire transfer. So just some updates here. I'd love to see that. Vet says new DEX broker amendment idea for the XRP Ledger. Projects and billers only take a fee when the order for their clients gets filled. It integrates into existing payments and offering transactions. DEX broker plus permission DEX could be a powerful combo, bootstrapping the DEX. And so here's some additional context here. This amendment, combined with recently activated features like credentials and permission DEX, allows platforms to charge fees on DEX orders only when trades are filled, mirroring traditional brokerage models and enabling sustainable business models for exchanges and fintechs building the next financial system, building the XRP Ledger, mirroring traditional brokerage models. The replacement, right? The integration on-chain KYC and AML tools lets institutions participate while meeting regulatory demands, addressing one of the biggest historical barriers to institutional adoption and to DeFi. With brokered fees and permission trading environments, the XRP Ledger positions itself as both open and compliance focused, targeting capital flows from banks, payment companies, and asset managers and regulated trading venues. Features like credential gated transactions ensure only verified allow listed accounts can trade on certain DEX venues, further aligning XRP with the financial industry and requirements. Man, this is getting pretty cool. And then hear from Dominus. Never in history of XRP have whales been buying XRP this aggressively. What do they know? What do they know? You also have Bybit. RLUSD is now listed on Bybit. Bybit is the world's second largest crypto exchange with 60 million users and 6 billion in trading volume. RLUSD is the 94th largest crypto asset with market cap of 740 million. Keeps getting bigger, doesn't it? It'll be at $1 billion before the end of the year. And where this goes in 2026, well, it's going to be very interesting to figure all this out. I do think Vanguard getting into the space is something that we should take notice of, because you have BlackRock now you have the second largest. It's just a matter of time before all of these financial institutions are offering these products. Yes, there are going to be a lot of products. There's over 200 crypto products now trying to be approved. There might be, too many, but the strongest cryptos, the strongest opportunities, the strongest communities, those will win in the end. And the XRP army, there is no one else. Oh, I'll tell you a story. I was at a dinner last night. My wife won an award at the bank she works at. And it's this special dinner where 20 people get an award every quarter. And at the top of this bank, there's this beautiful restaurant. And you're on the 30th floor of this building, and everyone could bring a guest. And so we went there, And I got to speak with some bank executives too, which I thought was cool. I asked them a few questions about crypto and things like that. But the gentleman sitting across from me, it was there with his wife who was getting an award. You know, the guy to my right who was, you know, basically I think is like number 2 or number 3 at the bank. You know, he's been there for 40 years. Really nice guy. His name was Ryan. He asked me, like, what do I do? And I said, I create content. He's like, okay, what about? I said, XRP. And he said, oh, really? You know, I don't think he knows anything, but the guy sitting across from me, he said something like, we're still waiting. And I was like, oh my God, that's my people. That's my people. And I'm like, you own XRP? He's like, yep. I'm like, oh my God, I found somebody. Let's go. Let's go. Listen, I think there are people like us everywhere. Just got to go find them. Those are good people. They can see the future. I'll see you next time, guys. Aloha.